What's happening, guys? It's Alan Mike, Super Training Gym, Mark Bell's Powercast, Reebok1.com, checking in. I want to talk a little bit about the squat, but first I want to apologize. I don't really want to apologize. I'm not really apologizing, but I'm kind of apologizing just because my number one goal is to always entertain and to teach. I've been very busy traveling, very busy with work, so I haven't been able to make the informative videos that I like to help you guys progress in and outside of the gym. But now that I found a little time on this beautiful day, I decided to make a couple. So what we're going to talk about is the best accessories, in my opinion, to help you increase strength and size in the squat, in your lower half of your body, in your legs, quads, glutes, hams. Training kind of goes in a wave. I guess everything kind of goes in this bell curve. When you're a beginner, I always suggest that you practice the main movement as much as possible. Typically that allows, and I suggest training in the 60 to maybe 70% range. That's a good range to build some muscle, but also allows you to train the best technique. Once the weights get too heavy, you're gonna get a little bit jacked up in your form, and what we want to do is build that motor pattern over and over, build that skill of the squat over and over. So when you're a very beginner, yes, we'll still use these accessories, but I want the majority of your training to be with the squat. Practice, practice, practice. Afterwards, once you're very efficient in that squat, you're gonna find some different weak points and plateaus that stop you from progressing in strength or size. So what we'll need to do is address those, and that's what these accessories are gonna be for. Number one accessory, in my opinion, is the pause squat. Pausing in all three of the movements, especially the squat, in different points in the lift, but especially the whole, helps you find the proper bar path and also positioning that's going to allow you to lift the most weight overall. Also, you benefit from the time under tension. Time under tension just basically means how long are you under load. He said load. How long are you under load? That's also a factor in building muscle. So you kind of hit two birds with one stone with the pause squat, pausing anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe even 10 seconds in various positions of the squat where your weak point is. Once again, most typically in the hole, allows that motor pattern, the positioning, the balance to take place so you can sit in that hole. So then when you squat normal, you'll be able to stay in that position. Powerlifting is just all about positioning and technique. Technique typically means positioning. The best position you can start in, you want to remain through the range of motion of the lift, rack the weight, and that's your best chance to lift the most amount of weight. In terms of muscle, obviously we have volume, time under tension, some other factors, muscular fatigue, which pause squats will allow you to do. With all these accessories, I typically recommend throwing them in after the main movement. So maybe you squat a 5x5 with the main squat, then maybe you do a 3x5 with a little bit lesser weight on the pause squat. Once again, talking about that, training kind of goes in a curve a little bit. When you first start squatting, I recommend just putting the bar wherever's most comfortable on your back, squeezing those shoulder blades as tight as you can, and really squeezing the bar. After that, often, not always, often, moving the bar a little bit lower on your back, closer to your hips, will allow you to squat a little bit more weight in the long run. But there's plenty of guys that can sit very upright and have the bar a little bit higher on their traps, a la high bar. My boy Bryce Lewis squats a shit ton that way. But in either case, typically when the bar is lower, a little bit further in your lifting career, I do recommend the high bar squat. The high bar squat makes you stand a little bit more upright, works that core midline control, making you really tight between your shoulders and your hips, and also allows you to overload your quads. If you're already kind of a high bar squatter, more upright, you might replace this with something like a front squat. Front squat also puts a ton on your core, on your erectors. You're gonna have to really fight that weight to stay upright and overload your quads. Once again, this accessory can be used multiple times a week, but after the main lift. If you're further out from a competition, you can use these as a main day. Frequency can be a little bit higher. Exercise variation could be a little bit higher. So maybe you front squat once a week and then do your competition squat once or twice a week. Closer to the meet, we'll probably take away these accessories, if not lighten them a little bit, and just work on the practice of that main competition lift. The last one, which is one of my recent favorites as I jacked up my back a little bit, is the belt squat, or the Pit Shark, which is a machine we have. If you don't have the Pit Shark, what you can do is kind of use a dip belt and two plyo boxes or two elevated surfaces, even regular benches probably. You're gonna load the weight from your hips. This is gonna allow you to overload your quads, overload your glutes, overload your hams, depending on how you squat. But it also is gonna take that stress off your shoulders, your upper body, and your spine. You can handle crazy amounts of volume on this thing, which allows you to eventually obviously build more muscle and more strength overall. Those are just some quick tips, guys. Accessories to build a bigger squat, bigger legs. Quads are the new abs, I heard, is 2016, my friends. If this helped you guys, be sure to share it, subscribe, like it. More information coming your way, guys. I appreciate it.